Discussions are hot and
All right, excellent afternoon to all those who are watching me across the state in Nigeria. And I must say that any state that is not firm on its resolution to protect its people, its governance, and the rule of law will be attacked by unethical elements. Governance is not about pleasing a fraction of people. It is about the sanity and development of the majority. Again, I welcome you to another interesting episode of Real Talk with Kike. I remain your convener and, of course, the chief host of this platform, Kike Atanda-Owo. And I think it's important for us to hear what on this day initial segment has for us. When I return, I give my own 2 coin on it. Stay with me. I'll be right back. All right, many thanks for staying with me. I believe today's On This Day in History segment reflects the trends of civilization that began in Africa, and our history, I must emphasize, is very rich, and we should not allow the West to impose another narrative of backwardness, upon us Africans. And I feel that, Ericsson may be a German company but I must emphasize that the Egypt, the first university in the world, and many other landmark civilizations that I believe that they've brought to fall. I think that's the whole message of On This Day News segment today. I think it's important for us to get the message from my sponsors, those that have put me on this platform. Let's hear a message from there. And when I return, we'll go straight to the topic at hand. All right, many thanks for staying with me. Suspected agitators for the Yoruba nation who were arrested for the unlawful invasion of the Oyo State House of Assembly and Governor's office in Ibadan have maintained their stand on the actualization of their demand, and 21 members of the group were paraded before the newsmen by the Commissioner of Police, Adebola Amzat. And the brazen of this issue at hand, secessionists in Oyo State over the weekend surprised Nigerians, and many reactions have surfaced as regards to what their goals and missions are against in a state of democracy with rule of governance. However, despite the culture, or would I say capture, of these armed activists and ongoing investigation, they are still determined on the actualization of a Yoruba nation. On the live show today, I will be having deep discussion with a guest on the implication of the agenda by the faction who label themselves Yoruba Nation, and I will be looking at the issue from multiple angles. But before we delve further with the show with my guest, I think it's important for us to check the profile of my guest, and when we return, I go straight to the to the main topic. As I stay with me, I'll be right back. right, many thanks for staying with us. This is Real Talk with Kike. I believe that I've been able to reestablish connection with my guests. Can you hear me now, sir? Are you there?
I can hear you clearly.
Fine, many
Good
thanks.
afternoon.
I can hear you
Excellent
clearly.
afternoon to you. Many thanks for
Good
creating time to
afternoon.
be here. Let's just dive straight to the topic at hand because I know that we've lost some minutes, you know. Where do we start from? Okay, because for the purpose of our viewers, you know, and the global audience, people would like to know, and that's the reason why I'm asking, where do we start from? Are the Yoruba nation secessionists, you know, representing the entire Yoruba race, who are roughly, I think, more than 100 million people, home and abroad? Or are they just a fraction of small people acting on self-driven interests, not recognized by any known authority or government? I would like you to, you know, let's throw light on that before we'll move further to the main conversation.
Right. Now, let's go straight. We don't know.
They are not known to us.
This
in
group.
Afenifere.
They are
We
not
know
known to us
Professor
in Afenifere.
Banji
We
Akintoye.
know Professor
We know
Banji
Chief
Akintoye.
Sunday
We
Adeyemo,
know Chief
alias
Sunday
Igboho.
Adeyemo,
We know those two,
alias
two
Igboho.
people.
We know
And
those two.
we have been following
people.
their agitation.
And we have been following.
They've been going about it lawfully. They write petition. They're doing it the way other people are doing it. If you want self-determination. Yoruba are noted for diplomacy,
Yoruba are
We
noted
are
for
noted
diplomacy,
for
We are
civilized
noted
behavior.
for
The
civilized
last time we see this
behavior.
kind of thing in Yoruba land was in 1962.
The last time we see this kind of thing in Yoruba land was in 1962.
We're talking about 62 years ago.
We're talking about
beyond
62 years ago.
Remember,
We've gone beyond
we
all
faced
this.
the military junta.
Remember,
Abacha.
we
When you
faced
say
the military
Nadeko,
junta.
Afenifere
Abacha.
constitutes
When you say
95%
Nadeko,
of
Afenifere
Nadeko.
constitutes
Fought
95%
this
of
battle
Nadeko.
without one bullet.
We fought
been
this
shot,
battle without
and we
one
won it.
bullet, being shot.
It's
And
not
we
our
won
fault.
it.
We are educated people.
It's not our fault.
It's not being
we are
immodest.
educated people.
We've been
It's not being
150
immodest.
years producing university
We've been
graduates
150
before the
years
entity
producing
called
university
Nigeria was
graduates
born.
before the entity called
So,
Nigeria was born.
Anybody has the
So,
right to agitate, but agitate lawfully.
Anybody has the right to agitate, but agitate lawfully.
Taking guns, ambushing a place.
Taking guns,
It's not
ambushing
it's not known
a
to
place.
Yoruba people.
It's
You
not,
see why
it's not-
this thing
it's not known to
surprises
Yoruba
everybody
people.
in the world?
You see why this thing
This is Yoruba
surprises
land. They are not
everybody in the
noted
world is that
for this
this
kind
is
of
Yoruba
thing.
land. They are
This is
not
their
noted
style.
for this kind of thing. This is not their
When
style.
you don't listen to elders.
You see,
Yoruba
when
elders,
you don't listen to
as-
elders,
they have
Yoruba
the
elders
integrity
as
that
they have
in this country,
the
you
integrity
can't.
that
I don't think
in
anybody
this
can
country
question
you
integrity
can't.
of our leaders.
I don't think anybody can
We
question
are
the
so
integrity of our
passionate.
leaders.
We have never questioned
We are
the
so
corporate
passionate.
existence
We have
of Nigeria.
never
We have been
questioned
the
the
only
corporate
nation
existence
who has
of
never done
Nigeria.
it.
We have been the only
Because
nation
we have
who has
invested
never
so
done
much
it.
in Nigeria.
Because we have
We
invested
are very
so
close to the water. If people call us aborigine, we will say yes. The aborigine of Nigeria. We're not leaving Nigeria for anybody. All we want is that by 1960 we have an arrangement how Nigeria came to be. Everybody, every culture has within this country called Nigeria. There are many nations, but the Yoruba nation is so peculiar, so homogeneous. Within the 7 or 8 states that constitute Nigeria and Yoruba nation, all what we want is restructured Nigeria for the better glory of the black nation. The black world are looking unto us as their leader. You go to Cuba, go to Oyotuji, go to Brazil. Their history is Yoruba land. We don't want this kind of things to come to our area. We don't really appreciate it. Even though they have the right to agitate for what they want, but they must do it lawfully. They must do it lawfully. Whatever they have done now, well, they know the consequence of their action, and they will take responsibility.
Many thanks for that insight. You're so clear in your submission regarding, we must agitate lawfully. And I like the fact that you've mentioned that, all we want is restructuring in Nigeria. But Nigerians are shocked with laughter, amazement that a small group of people could carry out such an agenda in open daylight. What exactly is the agenda, if I may ask? Are they a sect or a fraction from the Afenifere group, or do you speak on their behalf? What is their mission? I want you to be crystal clear on this question.
I am Afenifere for the poor. I was born Afenifere. My father was Afenifere. It is an Awolowo man-centered philosophy. Our agenda in Afenifere is a restructured Nigeria. Let us sit down and organize and rearrange how Nigeria can be the greatest black nation on earth. The way it was as at 1966, before the military came and torpedoed how we arranged to be a country. That is what Afenifere is all about. Freedom, a lot of the regulation to go to the states. And if the states within the Yoruba nation, if they arrange together to be working together as a region, yes, that's fine. But as it is now, all the states, we should devolve power the way it was pre-1966. We are able to achieve many, many things in this country. Nigeria is a unitary state for now, disguising as if we are federal state. No, we are not federal. Even the United Kingdom gave us independence. It's more federal than Nigeria. You have many nations within the United Kingdom. The English, the Scottish, the Welsh, and the Northern Irish. They have so many things that they have 100% autonomy of. There's a Bank of Scotland, and they have their currency on agriculture. They have 100% autonomy on it. The education that is being practiced in England is different. In England and Wales is different from the one in Scotland. And yet, they still have their central parliament in Westminster. This is what we're talking about Nigeria. Not for some people. We're talking about Nigeria. Not for some people to be dictating from Abuja and dictating for what is happening in Badagry or in Ogoja. When Ogoja people don't even know what is happening in Abuja. This is what we are saying. We have to restructure Nigeria. That is the cry of Afenifere. And I believe the president that is currently in power is a member of Afenifere. He got into governors of Lagos State using Afenifere. He won by Afenifere manifesto. We know he's one of the leaders, one of the Democrats, and one of the anti-military regime that are the first one to become a president in this country. I know, and I have hope. And I have hope that he is going to do justice to this country, Nigeria, and make Nigeria a greater nation as the most powerful black nation on earth.
All right, greater nation. I hear you. There's a lot that you spilled in this, in your last submission. And when you said that a united nation is more federal than Nigeria, the federal government had ignored them for a while, given the provision of the law, and of course, which is freedom of speech and, will I say, expression of interest and affiliation. However, at this day like treason, do you think there is a need for the federal government to take decisive or punitive action against this group? That's my first question to you, sir, because I'm trying to manage time. And my second question to you is the fact that how does your group, because you've mentioned Afenifere back to back, and also saying that, you are very sure that, the sitting president is also an Afenifere. Afenifere vindicates, I feel that they should you should vindicate yourself in terms of the affliction with this group. Have you authorized them, for lack of a better word now, I'm trying to think aloud, are they armed? Are they supported in military by Afenifere? Because we need to be clear on what you're saying, sir.
I told them we don't know them. Somebody you don't know. I'm hearing of Onitiri for the first time. We don't know. I've been in Afenifere as young as I am for over 30 years. I don't know. Our fathers in Afenifere who has his own belief that, we want a Yoruba nation. Him. Lately, I know this young man, Sunday Igboho. But this Onitiri, and our group. We don't know. And like I've told you, we are for a restructured Nigeria. We want Nigeria to be restructured. And we are the aborigine of Nigeria. Maybe I should open my mouth and say it. That we are the aborigine, we've been here before others. I don't want to go into history that life begins at Ife. So if I go there, we are the ones that. So how can we leave Nigeria? For anybody? We have invested so much in Nigeria. Go to United Kingdom, go to our embassy there. Who owns that embassy? Is it not Yoruba that the federal government took over? The one we are using as High Commissioner. Obafemi Awolowo bought it. And so on and so forth. And those who have been given Nigeria the great name, the likes of Wole Soyinka and so on and so forth. These are Yoruba people. And you say we should leave what we have labored for and leave it for... No. We own Nigeria together. We are going to make Nigeria a better and greater nation. Let anybody know that now. We don't know this group, and we are emphasizing it. We don't know them. We've never heard of them. So talk less of giving them directive or arms. That is not us. When you know us, I said we fought Abacha to stand still, and there was not a single bullet. Colonel Inyam said, if I have to come to this world again, I'm going to be a Yoruba man. That is the kind of being God has made us. We will talk, Baba just his own way of the definition of democracy is that you talk, I talk, you talk, I talk, and we reach agreement. That is what Yoruba believes in. We are going to sit down with our brothers and sisters across Nigeria, the way it was during 2014 Constitutional Conference. We sat down. There are many things we agreed on. There are many things we wanted. Nigeria said that other people say they don't want it. For the sake of greater Nigeria, we let it go. We wanted a regional arrangement because we believe we are homogeneous enough. We believe Yoruba land is big enough to be a nation. It's greater than most nations in Western Europe. But nonetheless, we are inside Nigeria. And we want to make Nigeria a greater country, and we want a big, black, powerful, prosperous black nation. That is the stand of Afenifere. That is our stand. So nobody, we don't want to be distracted. And actually, we don't want to be liking or this set of people. We don't, if not for education and for people to know they are Yoruba like ourselves, yes. But we don't know them. We don't know them at all. And then again, like I said, symbolically, it's whatever they are doing is not Indian, it's not Nigeria alone. If you look at when the Irish people was independence in United Kingdom, a sensible prime minister came, Tony Blair. He said, listen, if you want independence, we don't have to be fighting and throwing bombs for God. Let us sit down. This is what it brought about. Scotland, more or less, as a nation today, they have like a prime minister, first nation. Scotland is a small place that's about 1.2 or 2 million people. They have their own parliament, for God's sake. Northern Irish people, they have their own parliament. This is the kind of thing. Let us sit down and talk. We now understand what restructuring is about. A rearrangement, devolve power to the constituency nations. Let them run their affairs the way they like. I want to marry now. Why should I be coming to Abuja to get permission? These are the small things. There are things that can bring us together. Military might. Yes, that one should bring us together. The currency, like central bank, one central bank, that should bring us together. Immigration, that should bring us together. But the rest, let the states, let them manage it themselves. Let them manage the economy. Let them grow. Whoever that is lazy, there are people who ask questions.
We hear you, sir. We hear you. And many thanks for that elaborate
is the weapon for development.
I'm being spoiled by history right now. But putting that aside, you know, I like the fact that you mentioned that we need to dialogue. I think that's what we've been doing for years, you know. And Chief Bode George also critiqued the Nigerian constitution, particularly regarding its functionality, the relevance to local governance. Is that the same philosophy the Afenifere has, or the Afenifere is against when it comes to the freedom of the Yoruba people? That's my first question to you, sir. And my second question to you is that elder statesmen like Chief Bode George and some other eminent Nigerians think that the state police can address local security concerns, the effectiveness of how swiftly they should come to issues that affect us all. What are your thoughts on that? Because that claims gradual, will I say, weakness when it comes to the need for the current policing system.
Well, I think we are saying the same thing. Myself and my leader, the Attorney of Yoruba Land, Chief Bode George, a retired general. Now, this thing is not novel. It has happened before. State police. There was even a local government police. So, let people, the security system, let the local, let them handle it themselves. That is what we mean by state police. Everywhere I keep on referring to our colonial master who give us this arrangement. You go to United Kingdom, they have more or less what they call state police. The City of London has metropolitan police that cover the City of London. Even within London, the financial center, they have their own police, the policing system, the city police, the railway, they have their own police. They don't report to one individual. No, there's no central policing. You go to the Hitherlands, they have their constabulary. The same thing here we should practice. We are practicing it. So what is it ego that somebody wants to be up there and be dictating to the rest 220 million Nigerians? That is ego, the way I'm looking at it. It's not practical. It's not practical. Let us go back and devolve what is devolvable, let me use that language, to the states. We are going to function very, very, very well when you allow the states to do so many things. The policing, the only thing we will not give out is the military. We should have central military. We should not, no state should have a military system. But the policing, which is the official policing system of the civilian, all the states should have it. Yes, we are all saying it. Thank God there is a process now by the president who understands it, that yes, the parliament, they are working on it, that we have state police. Some people will not like it because they want to be using it to be robbing others or to be suppressing others. But the will of the majority should allow to prevail. I hope I have done justice to your
and
inquiry.
Return after a word from my sponsor. Stay with me, I'll be right back. This is Real Talk with Kike. All right, glad to know you're still right there with us. In case you just joined today's show, today's conversation is about the Yoruba nation, the aggression which took place on Saturday, 13th of April, at the government secretariat in Ibadan, your state, a brazen attack on, well, I say democracy, the rule of law, and of course an act of treason against the government of the day. And it's been a discussion that have brought to fall, you know, in terms of the implications, how we found ourselves with my guest, Abagun Omololu, who is the National Organizing Secretary, Acting Secretary General, Afenifere. We have been having, you know, real talk around the issues surrounding the legal aspect of this topic at hand, the security perspective, and many more. Again, I want to say many thanks, Abagun Omololu, for all that you've shared thus far. But let me use this opportunity to open our phone lines. Remember that you can be part of this conversation by calling the studio number 080-988-77400, showing on your screen right now. And of course, we're streaming live on our Facebook page and not on YouTube page anymore. So for those who keep going on our YouTube page, for now it's only on our Facebook page. So many thanks for following through with this program on Silverbird Television. So with all that you've shared thus far, I must bring to fore the legal aspect, because what are the legal implications of attempting to establish, you know, a separate nation within Nigeria as demonstrated by the Oduduwa Nation's action? You know, my question is, how should the Nigerian government, you know, respond to such attempts, you know, considering the potential for destabilization and conflict that is ongoing. When we went on a break, you know, one of my technical team was actually talking about, you know, seems hypocritical with what is happening right now and what has happened in the past. I would like you to speak true to the issue at hand.
Thank you. Well, I'm not a lawyer and I'm not pretending to be one. Those who took the action, they know the consequence of their action, and I'm sure they are prepared for it. And the federal government knows what to do. I'm sure they're going to take them to court. The court will hear two sides of the story, that the federal government and those who are agitating and going to a government establishment to say they are instituting their own nation. Well, let the courts decide on what they want to do. The federal government might say, this is not what I want to do. But the court is there to say, well, you are right, you are wrong. You know, so we are not going to preempt anything that court is going to say, you know. So, but my advice is that whatever this people has done, federal government should sit tight. And then again, our security. Somebody must answer question. Those in Oyo who should be in charge of intelligence, how can this brazen act taking place and the intelligence did not nip it in the bud? I mean, we have a lot of work to do on that area. Anybody can wake up today and commit any madness. It's for the government and the law enforcement not to allow it to happen. If they are able to allow it to happen, then the court will now take the necessary steps to advocate on the matter. But what has happened now, I appeal. It must be handled very, very carefully. This is not the first time it happens. Spain, it has happened before. I said in England, in United Kingdom, it has happened. At the end of the day, they go to the negotiating table. They negotiated, and there is peace. And there is peace. A lot of people will be calling for punitive action. Kill them. This, that. A lot of elder people will be saying, yes, I understand. But any human being that takes this sort of action and is ready to die, and you are not looking at it critically, there will be many who will want to do it if we don't quickly sit down and look at what is the cause of all this thing. I mean, just look at it for God's sake. In terms of ethnicity, a Yoruba man is the president. If you want to support your own person, everybody say, I cannot do this. But this one did not care. No, something is behind it. Something is behind it. Federal government, the stakeholders, sir, the obas, everybody in Nigeria that want the greatness of Nigeria. Let us quickly start.
All right. If you can hear me, sir, you know, I want to bring to fore quickly history, because how do historical instances of all these secessionist movements in Nigeria, such as the Niger Delta Voluntary Force and the Republic of Biafra, inform, you know, with all that is happening right now, I think that we need to quickly inform ourselves in terms of the understanding of the current sentiment that is at hand with all that you've shared thus far. What lessons can be learned or learnt from past conflict to address, you know, grievances and prevent such issue to continue as a culture in terms of fragmentation, you know? And before you answer that, let me also quickly touch on the fact that, you know, you've mentioned so many top stakeholders in the corridor of power. To what extent are our political leaders, such as the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should address the grievances, you know, in terms of movement on how to move the community forward, because when you're talking about dialogue or how to, you know, negotiate, let me bring it to your attention when it comes to dialogue versus confrontation. What strategies can be employed, you know, to engage with such groups or address their grievances through this dialogue that you've proposed in terms of negotiation? And how should the government differentiate between legitimate demands for autonomy that you once earlier mentioned and unlawful attempts to undermine national sovereignty?
Thank you. You see, I have so much hope in Nigeria now, especially with the current regime. Why am I saying it? Since 1979, the only pure democratic human being that has taken power, who know how to struggle for power, who was part of those who fought anti-democratic forces, is Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I believe he must understand that this is a time to talk. This is a time to engage our obas, our monarchs, who are very close to the grassroots. We cannot be seeing our obas as if they are just an employee of the local government. No. No. They are the owners of the land. They know more about the people than the DSS or military intelligence. They know the thief. They know the thief in the locality. They know the history of the family. This family, don't go and marry there. Their forefathers was a thief. He stole a goat during one time. They know all these people. So engage them. The group like Afenifere, you know, our position, our activities has shown that since 1951, all we want is what the Bible says, look good for yourself and for others. It's a man-centered philosophy group. All what we want is for the poor to be lifted up, the rich to continue getting richer. You know, it's not for some people to be super rich, and while some are down low grade, the low grade they will take into the law into their hands and be doing so many things that is unlawful. So that's why I say I have so much hope and passion that the present government we do something, because it's part and parcel of democratic process that led to us having democracy. All the rest were military generals who just came there. Look at the last 8 years. Look at what we had in this country. Nigeria has been reduced to rubble. The foundation nearly collapsed. This is how we must give time and patience for this new regime to please address the problem. We give glory to God. A lot of things that have been collapsing. Look at the economy now. It's gradually picking up. The dollar that was nearly 2,000 naira is nearly as under 1,000 naira now. That means let us start cooperating. If we are going to criticize, let us criticize constructively. It is allowed. It is allowed. But the best thing, the success of President Asiwaju Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is the success of every one of us. We will be walking tall as a black person on earth if the man is very successful. So, engagement of stakeholders, the Afenifere group is there. We are the conscience of the Yoruba nation. We know their demand. We know their agitation. We know the culture. We know the norms. We are ready. It's a sacrifice. Anybody that says he's doing Afenifere for money, I haven't seen anybody like that. For nearly 30 years, I've been spending my money there. I have never received a penny from any human being. I do it out of passion. I live abroad for a long time. I know what it is to be a great country. Nigeria has the potential to be it. Why can I enjoy this kind of thing abroad, and my country is not like that. This is the reason I am using Afenifere as a brand to be promoting welfareism, promoting goodness for others. Let our youth, we have the most vibrant youth on earth. They are giving us good name. Go to anywhere. I was in the desert somewhere in Dubai. Music, they were playing Nigerian music. They were playing the video. They were playing all that. Nigerian. You go to anywhere in the market, any open market in London now, you'll be hearing Nigerian music. It has taken over the world. This is Nigeria. This is our youth. I plead that our president look at our youth exceptionally and bring them. They are very, very clever. Anywhere they are on top. We want this encouragement. We want this encouragement.
Thank you so much for
Thank you.
lending your voice on the diversity of Nigerian population and, of course, the progress of our country. And I just hope that God continue to give you the strength to continue to lend your voice on contemporary issues like this. But before I let you go, sir, the last segment of the show is trending stories, what we call trending stories. These are stories that also bind us as Africans, as Nigerians. And the first trending story that have been trending for a while, in the last few days, and I felt that I needed to bring this conversation to fore, is Bobrisky's trial. I'm sure that you must have seen it. And I felt that, first of all, can we just imagine Bobrisky being sentenced to 6 months in jail with no option of fine? And this is a reflection of our society, if you ask me. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this conversation to fall is because I want to touch on 3 sides of this story. I feel that the society side, the legal side, and of course, the justice side, because I feel that, first of all, I'm not a fan of Bobrisky. I don't consume his content online. The first time I can tell you that I started following him was, I think, a few weeks ago when I needed to talk about an issue that was trending at the time too, regarding him being given the best dressed, female artist at an event. That was what made me just start following, and it was quite comical. I must put it out there, But the big question for me, in the face of the issue at hand, in the public, is that he's being picked upon for his cross-dressing or is the Naira abuse, and we all have answers to that glaringly, because for the system of this society, it is purely a witch hunt, if you ask me. I try to keep it real as much as possible, even though quite a number of people still feel that I must add diplomacy to the issue, to issues at hand, which also you have emphasized on my guest today. But we can't deny the fact that is on ground right now. Virtually every society in Nigeria is guilty of abusing the Naira from the recent law point of view. I must put it out there. And we that on a regular occasions, sometimes you attend people who are close to you, you attend their function, their events, and I must tell you that none of these socialites, so to speak, entertainers, party makers, have been persecuted for all that we see today that Bobrisky is being persecuted on, the tone of the judgment and the decisiveness that was brought to fore. So from the side of the justice, the judge also delivered, like I said earlier, a 6-month verdict of imprisonment, which was rather punitive or harsh for me, if you ask me, from a comparative stance, where there are other options of fine and community service that I feel that could have been brought to fore. This makes us further believe that it was winch hunted, like everybody's talking about on socials. Can we believe that, as at last week or a few weeks ago, a few days ago, EFCC struck out case of money laundering against him, while the initial petition against him was about Naira abuse? So I'm wondering, which one should we follow? Now, let me put that aside. Let me talk about the angle of his lawyers, because there are many reasons to believe that he has been fairly represented. Perhaps it looks more like persuaded to accept guilt and accept a penalty with little effort in defending himself in this instance. So I personally see some of this form, or will I say some of this issue, as sloppiness from his lawyers, for lack of a better word right now. I don't see them fighting for him because of the possible legal might, in terms of the disposal of the issue at hand. But the entire saga has an impact on the society, and that's where I feel that I need to really, put a lot of emphasis on, because it strips all the public of confidence in the justice system, in terms of if the system wants to winch onto you could be taken for another reason. Another lesson in our country today is that, you want to ensure that you don't fall on the wrong side of the law, because those are the things that have been able to, collate together with the topic at hand. If the system wants you to be pardoned, you could be pardoned. But, hey, if they also want you to be jailed, you could be jailed, because those are the lessons for me. And I'm wondering that how do we want to fathom this going forward in terms of, the citizens not losing faith in the justice system. Quickly, sir, I don't know if you can lend your voice on this trending story in 2 minutes.
I was laughing when you were asking this question. Bob, what do you call the name? Is Bob Brisky or something? Hey, somebody of my age talking of Bobrisky. There are many things that will be interesting you to be reading in the newspaper. I think it's my kids that will be talking, or younger people that will be talking of Bobrisky. But having said that, you see, like me, I'm a father. Sometimes all my kids are married, you bring a boy that's plait his hair. My God. You are in trouble. You see, let me tell you, my first daughter, she was 16 or 18. She said she wants to have a second hole in the earrings. It's the mom that called to beg me. We are old school. You see, our sister, it's a gradual thing. When I look at your face, I say, she's still young at heart. She's not an old lady, So let me tell you, see, our society for now, we are conservative. I'm telling you, I believe the judge too, who sentenced that guy. Is he a guy or you see? He's a guy. They ask him, "Who are you? Are you a boy or a guy?" He said, "I'm a man." Society is frowning. You see, a lot of things are going across the world. People are changing sexes. They are attempting to undo what God has done. It's morality. He's not talking of law. It's morality. We are not Oyibo. We should not allow this kind of creeping thing to be creeping into our system. No. He might be doing it for fun.
Many thanks.
Yeah, maybe fun.
But
society is frowning at it.
We are running out of time, sir, and I'm trying to manage time. We are running out of time, and I'm trying to manage time right now. I hear you. Yes, I might look young physically, but I know that, I'm an old school, but it's okay. I'm still very young. But putting that aside, let me quickly touch on the second trending story where you can also lend your voice if we have time. Is the Dunamis church pastor, NHA, that apologizes to church member on false testimony. And quickly, sometimes in this country, even the world in general, we try to protect the sanity of our thoughts. Maybe that's the word I'm struggling with right now when it comes to what we consume from the online space, just like you said earlier, sir, and also what we find out, basically. So you want to give everything so much attention, or you don't want to give too much attention to certain things, but you may end up being affected negatively. I honestly don't know why a false or a false testimony becomes a subject of controversy in the social media space that millions of Nigerians now have to give attention to, including me. After all, you can see that I brought this conversation to fall. But sir, with this second trending, back to the main story, to which where there are two sides again for me with this topic. The sides of the fact that supports Pastor NHA of Dunamis Church, and the side that supports the law graduates. Again, this is my own caveat to it. I'm not attacking anyone or belonging to any party, but I'm just lending my voice to social correction and moral standings. The side who supports the Pastor Paul NHA should also, give public apology to the lady on the altar where she was disgraced. As far as I'm concerned, is the right thing to do. You cannot dent my image or damage my esteem in public and apologize to me in private. Not done, and I don't think it should be accepted. Putting that aside, However, on the other hand, with the spur of the circumstances, it is often possible that one would raise eyebrow to BSc in law, another indication of, I don't know, spurious or bogus claims like 10 years studying law, etc. One is bound, whether be a pastor or not, raise eyebrow in terms of commitment or in terms of such comment. So it is little or nothing to do what his pastoral knowledge have brought to forth. So that same comment for me, if you ask me, have come from a perspective of employer, from a chamber of who wants to employ us. So all the same, I just feel that Pastor Paul Eneche has apologized. We should move on to face critical matters in our country, and I think this is where I draw the curtains of the show. Thank you so much, and to my resourceful guests, many thanks, sir, for creating time to be on this platform today. Unfortunately, I cannot take your submission on this second trading, but I wish you the very best. Abagun Kole Omololu. Bye now.